Hey guys, welcome to PG Nana Farm. I'm Linda, and today I'm going to share with you the 5 guidelines I use when buying chicks. Whether they be straight run or pre-sexed, I still use these same 5 guidelines to help me have a higher chance of receiving a pullet versus a cockerel. So, before I get into that, if you find this information helpful, I would ask that you would leave me a thumbs up. If you like what I do around here, I ask that you would subscribe because that helps us out a whole lot. Anyway, so we're going to get with it. Guideline number 1 is to know when your feed stores are actually getting the shipment in of chicks. The reason I say this is because a lot of times, especially early on in the season, the chicks go very, very fast. People come in, they got the chick fever, and they're wiped out before the end of the day. The second reason I say this is because a lot of times the specialty chicks will be gone before you even know it, and you'll be left with a variety of chicks that may not be your first choice. And if you're anything like me, you still bring home those chicks. Guideline number 2. When you go to the feed store, and let's say you get there early, or at any time, whatever, doesn't even matter, and you see the bins of chicks, do not purchase the chicks that have been picked through. If there is a low number of chicks left in the bin, the chances and probabilities of them being cockerels would be a lot higher than that if it's a brand new bin of fresh chicks. The reason I'm saying this is because a lot of people have their own techniques on how to decide which chicks they're going to bring home and whether they have a higher chance of being a cockerel or a pullet. So that is my recommendation for guideline number 2. Guideline number 3. Look at the chicks that are available and look at the size of their legs and feet. The cockerels will usually have thicker leg stalks and slightly bigger feet than those of the pullet. You're looking at the birds, look at the ones that have the smaller, thinner legs and the smaller feet, and that will help you have a higher chance of picking a pullet versus a cockerel. Sign number 4. You want to look at the wing and tail development of all the chicks in the bins. The chicks that have the bigger wing development and tail developments and little pin feathers coming out of them have a higher probability of being a pullet versus a cockerel. The female chicks tend to grow their wings and their tails a lot faster than the male chicks. So that is another guideline. Guideline number 5. Have a backup plan. Because no matter how many rules you follow, if you buy all your chicks from the pre-sexed pullet bins, there is still going to be a probability of you having a cockerel. Because that's just the way of life. Because it's nature, and sometimes chicks just like to fool you. The plan I have for when I receive cockerels is that there is an auction house that is located nearby that I take my ruse to every Friday. And it's very, and then I make a little bit of cash on top of it. That's not available in all towns, so make sure you guys have a backup plan. Go out and get to know your local farmers. Go to the homesteading community fairs that they have. Do whatever you need and get to make friends with farmers, and a lot of times they'd be willing to take them off your hands for you. So, those are my 5 guidelines. They're very easy to follow. The funny thing is, I don't always follow them. I just bought myself 3 little silkies. Let me show you. So, a few weeks ago, or a couple weeks ago, my husband and I decided to pick up these little chicks. These are silkies. We got 3 of them. This is how our day went. We started off the day by going to the local college to help my son fill out some paperwork for his administration stuff. Once we were done there, we got back in the car and my husband says, "You want to go to TSC and see if they have chicks?" We just broke rule number 1 by doing that. So we went and we see the chicks, and most of the bins were empty. So we broke rule number 2. And the one chick we always wanted were silkies. We got there, they only had 3 silkies left, and we grabbed all 3 of them. So we broke every rule in the book. But the good news is I do have a backup plan, and I have the space and the facilities to keep more than 1 or 2 rules, so we'll be okay. Anyway, I just thought I'd show you my tips and show you my little story about my silkies. Oh, you're getting frustrated. I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you next time.